Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network.
The place is here and the time is now. Let's take it round for round. And people gather round. Let's see who can win the crown. All the marbles involved. Football, baseball, or golf. Who's dominating the hoops? Who's talking false or the truth? Yeah, come and show me your war face. I'll show you my war face. No holds barred, so for your sake, you better show up in good shape. Valuable information is key to your domination. So focus on preparation. Online is your reputation. Hands one-on-one, you and me. Ain't no fear in me, you will see. When it comes to this, you'll be wearing the number 23. In debate, I hold my weight, cause these sports I'm attached to it. Your legacy, get ready, cause I'm gonna set a match to it. Hey. Burn 'em, fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Legacy on Fire here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network, and of course, Aaron on the amazing Bowie television. We'd like to thank everybody for joining us for another episode. Very, very excited. Very, very excited. We got a lot to talk about because it seems like, summertime, you think, oh, man, it's going to be boring. No, there's too much still going on. And so we're here to bring you the heat here on Legacy on Fire. Let me go ahead and get things started by introducing the panel. First, to my left, he's a co-founder of the Legacy Maker Sports Network, Mr. Jeremiah Quimby. How you doing today, sir?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. It's not too hot today. They didn't bake us outside, which is always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. Then
walk outside, not breathe.
Exactly. And right below me, co-host here on Legacy on Fire, my man's Mr. James Brown. How art thou, sir?
Doing well. Thou art well today. Ready to get back into it. Ready to get back to some amazing sports debates with you guys today. Can't wait to see what we got in store.
And then, of course, our special guest from the Gametime Sports Network, Mr. Larry Patterson, fresh off of a nap. How you doing today, Larry?
Why you got to do him like that, dude? That's mean.
Hey, man, look, my man is rejuvenated. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, ready to play some sports today.
Well, we definitely ready to get into it today and have a good one. Look, we might as well give you a little sports debate before the presidential debate tonight. So we'll go ahead and get into this one and get started with one sentence. I decided to go twice. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the NBA draft is officially over. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. When this topic came up, I thought the draft would actually be starting right now. But they decided to do the draft, I think, around noon. So the draft is officially over. I thought we would at least be talking about how day one went and what, to look out for in day two. But that's not the case. So we're going to give you one sentence on the NBA draft thoughts. We did get a chance to see a certain someone get drafted at the 55th pick. Mr. Bronny James is an LA Laker. So that happened. We're not surprised that it happened. They've been talking about it for, I don't know, 10 years. it's like wherever he is, they're going to figure out a way. So, hey, it's an honor to get drafted, even if you don't, and most people ask if you don't even know, even if you don't deserve it, but it is what it is. With that being said, I want to get your one sentence, fellas, on the NBA draft. And of course, you can partake in some Bronny talk with that. James, I'll start with you first. What are your thoughts on the NBA draft? What's your one sentence? And you might as well talk about Bronny while we're in there.
All right. So for my one sentence, it'd have to be, what's with the 2 days? Like, what's with the 2 days? Like, there's no reason the NBA draft should have 2 days of coverage. I know they saw the NFL do it and split it up amongst multiple days. The NFL draft is way more popular. We know who these players are, so people are more likely to pay attention. I'm not even sure anybody even watched today. I didn't even know what time the second round started. And the fact that it's already done and over with, it makes no sense at this point. And then, of course, the one draft pick that everybody got right was Bronny James to the Lakers at 55. So you saw it. I saw it. We all saw it coming. LeBron finally gets to play with his son. We'll see how it goes.
It's happening. It's happening. Jay, we head to you next, man. What's your one sentence on the NBA draft itself and your thoughts on Bronny?
I don't keep up with it quite like I used to because there's so many foreign players that you can't watch or scout or even, see play. And, this is the second year in a row we've had somebody from France drafted number 1 overall. The Bronny stuff, that's just ridiculous. I'd have traded him to like the Celtics or something and got a whole bunch of first round picks. Let them draft Bronny because, I mean, the only time they, every time they look good, one of the big two get hurt. LeBron's old. Yes, he wants to play with the son. I understand that they got him at 55. That's awesome. But still should have sent him packing and did a rebuild. They've been 2020 they got the championship because COVID. It's not because there was skill involved. So I mean,
there's no skill involved. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, is he going to be one of those players that retires and becomes part owner? I don't know.
And that's what we'll all kind of see here in the next couple of years on what that looks like with Bronny and LeBron. Larry, we head to you, man. What's your one sentence on the NBA draft and your thoughts on Bronny?
My one sentence is the French are here. They are they are taking over the NBA. You saw 4 French guys taken in the first round. One of those guys that was drafted by the Knicks, he probably won't play in the NBA for a year or so, however long that goes. But with the Bronny pick, it was definitely predictable. But what I would like to see is, will he transfer from the G League to the roster, regularly during the regular season? I would like to see that, all depending on his development, but we'll see what happens. But yeah,
it's gonna be interesting because I mean, obviously he didn't have a stellar career at USC, and a lot of people say, well, maybe they didn't get no playing time, whatever. It just and then he had the heart condition. There was a lot that went into last year with Bronny. So and a lot of people thought, okay, man, he's definitely going to probably go back to college, give it one more year. And it just didn't happen that way.
Didn't he enter the transfer portal?
He did enter the transfer portal. And there was a chance we thought maybe he may hit the A10 only because Duquesne, I believe Duquesne's head coach used to be LeBron's high school coach. They thought, okay, maybe he'll slide to somewhere where he can get a lot of good playing time and go from there. Well, he's going to be an LA Laker, and we'll see how that kind of turns up. My thought on the draft, and the only thing I'll say before we move on to our next one sentence, is that I kind of agree with James. It's like, why is it 2 days? Knock that thing out in the first night, be done with it. You're not the NFL. Nobody knows half of the players. Like, it's not that it's saying, yes, you could probably go out there and scout them and really look and pay attention, but it is a deal. Like, I personally am not buying, European League basketball. I barely watch NBA unless it's the playoff. I mean, this is the most honest thing I'm going to tell you. I'll pay attention to the league and what's going on, but I'm not fully watching no games. So if I'm not watching NBA, I'm not watching the European League or the Chinese League or whatnot. I'm not watching any of those leagues. So,
well, it's not like 96 when we knew the top 15 players all the way down the board, whether they were high school players or college players.
You like when you were a senior in high school, it meant something. It's like, yo, this guy's got, like, when Tim Duncan came out, 4 years polished. You like, okay, this is gonna be amazing. And it's like now it's frowned upon to be a senior in college. Like, you're a junior, or you're too old. Too old? Like, too old to be in the NBA, and that's why I at least appreciate the Heat, because last year they drafted a guy who was a senior. He came out really Jimenez, I hate saying his first, Javier. He had a really good year last year for Miami. He came in, did some good stuff. So I was cool with that. They got a big man this year, 7 foot tall, needed some more height. But the big man now is so small. He's like a toothpick, but we'll see.
When you say 7 foot tall, they're 7 foot tall, but they're this big around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're like,
before 7 foot tall was 7 foot tall and 7 foot wide.
Yeah, now he's just gaining.
Blame the Europeans.
Yeah. Just go to y'all guys eating green beans. That's it. Next one.
The play style. I mean, they changed the whole
count.
center forward position. It's like with the way they play, it's more pass, more shooting. So it's like, you got to be smaller to be able to get up and down and shoot jump shots.
And when you see a center pulling up for 3 and knocking them down, you're like, all right, I guess. Like, yeah. I guess so. Why not? Why not? Our next one sentence, we stay in the world of basketball, and this time we talk about Angel Reese. Look, Angel Reese has had a really good first year in the WNBA. And yes, a ton of the talk has been about Caitlin Clark. Heck, we've talked about Caitlin Clark 95 times in the show in the last month. But Angel Reese has had a really good, rookie season. We've seen her come out and do some really good things, especially in that matchup against Caitlin a couple of days ago where they both had amazing games. She had 25 and 16. And then I think she had another like 5 or 6 steals, or it was either steals or blocks. Then Caitlin went out there. She had, I believe, 19 and 13. Like she had 13 assists. I'm like, so they're out here having great performances. But I want to hear from you guys. What's your one sentence? Is Angel Reese the WNBA Rookie of the Year right now, in your opinion? Larry, I'll start with you.
Averaging a double-double with 13 points, 11 rebounds. You look at the numbers, you say she definitely deserves to be. But with a season that's stretching all the way till mid-September, and you're already in a two-woman race for the WNBA Rookie of the Year, along with Caitlin Clark, who's also playing well. Can't dispute. I'm gonna say not so fast, my friend, but she does deserve it at this moment with the numbers that she's putting up. 8 consecutive games with a double-double. Very good. And she plays Asia Wilson tonight, and it's not even televised, and I'm kind of pissed about it.
Because you want to watch it. I mean, we're talking about the WNBA MVP more likely, and against one of the most talented rookies to come out in the WNBA in a long time, and you won't get to see it. That's something that the WNBA/NBA have to find a way to fix. James, we head to you next. What are your thoughts on Angel Reese, and is she the WNBA Rookie of the Year as of right now?
So my one sentence would be, she's got my vote. I would definitely vote for Angel Reese as WNBA and Rookie of the Year at this point. I think they had a stat, or they had an article like a week or so ago, a couple weeks back, where she's like the statistical leader in like almost every category that, for rookies. She's either number 1 or number 2. And I think the only thing she's really fallen behind, I think it was points, where, of course, Caitlin Clark leads that statistic, but she's had a hell of a season. She's been playing well as of late for sure. And then she finally got the win over the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark, which, has been played up that she's the nemesis. She's the bad guy. She finally beat the hero in Caitlin Clark. I'd say, why not let the Joker win this one? Give her the WNBA Rookie of the Year trophy. Either way, it's going to be a great story. It's going to be great publicity for the WNBA.
It's a win,
and
right?
I can't wait to see what happens. It's a win. Either way, whether Caitlin gets it or Angel gets it, it's a win.
Yeah, I mean,
shout out to Cameron Brink.
Yeah, Cameron Brink, who's Cameron Diaz's daughter. She losing her was a little bit tough because it was definitely making it a 3-woman race in there, and I think that she was bringing her own flavor. She had Jimmy Butler out of games out there in LA. I don't know if he was doing a scouting recruiting to go to LA, which I'm not thrilled about, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
He was selling her coffee.
Yeah, right. Maybe it was just selling her a little bit of coffee, But we'll get into that a little bit later. So I like what I've seen so far from these rookies. They're playing well. Jay, I head to you, man. What's your one sentence? Is Angel Reese the WNBA Rookie of the Year as of right now?
As of right now, because of the streak that, Reese has went on in the last couple games, she's been a monster in. I would give it to her, but you take away that and it's split 50-50. Nobody can be upset if either one of them won it, to be honest. I mean, they changed the face of women's basketball. They're number 1 selling jersey on Clark. I don't know why Reese isn't following that, because I mean, the jerseys aren't ugly. They're better than some of the NBA ones. But also, everybody wants to make it about black and white. It's not. It's like bird magic is what I see.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I definitely see bird and magic in it, and like that's the elephant in the room. We know it's there, but when it's two great players just giving you their all, they're making the game fun. They're definitely bringing more eyes to it. And here's the thing. Even if they're not playing in games, WNBA games are selling out now. Like
94% capacity is what they're selling out at right now.
This is what they needed. This is what we've been trying to figure out for years. How do they fix it? It's happening right now. Now, a lot of people are like, oh man, they're being villainous to Caitlin Clark. It's actually helping the league. Why? Because there's a lot of people that want to see Caitlin beat or
vice versa,
overcome the adversity. You know what I'm saying? So it's a combo package. But just as an example, the Mystics are 4-13. They got a sellout crowd tonight. They're taking on the Connecticut Sun, who are a really solid WNBA team. But I mean, before then, if this was last year, they probably had filled their arena. Not now. Everybody's there. No, neither one of the stars there. That's what's happening around the WNBA, and they've got to keep that momentum going. They just gotta. No matter what they do, they got to figure it out.
It's great because I watched the game the other night. I'll be honest, that is the first WNBA game I watched since I went up and covered the one in DC.
I know it's been a while,
but I mean, they need to do these players a little bit more, getting better talent around them. Caitlin Clark had a beautiful Magic S pass halfway up the court for a wide open layup, and the lady got it. Just
that's an unfortunate thing about the women's game that I've noticed in our years of covering it. We've seen a lot of women's basketball, and it's like when you're seeing it and you'll be watching it, and it's like, man, you're blowing way too many open layups. The
fundamentals.
Yes, to be at this level. And the crazy thing about it, the women are more fundamental than the men at times. They play more fundamental basketball. It just the fundamental ain't fundamental. I guess, if that makes any sense. And that's the thing. If they can clean it up, I mean, the sky's the limit. No pun intended.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and head over to the fire starters. Might as well finish up our basketball topics with this one. The NBA free agency. Obviously, the draft just happened, but we got NBA free agency. Potential trades that could happen. There's so much going on. They've got some big names out there. Three of these young men are part of those names. But obviously the biggest crown probably being LeBron, but he ain't going nowhere. Not after his baby boy being drafted by the Lakers. That ain't happening up in here. So, but I wanted to hear from you guys. I want you to name that NBA star that needs a new home, needs a change of scenery. Jay, I'll start with you first. Who's that NBA star that needs that change of scenery in your opinion? Like just
the NBA hates me because I picked LeBron originally until they picked him. Seriously, as soon as I saw it come across my phone, Bronny picked a 55. I was like, oh crap. So the one I'm gonna stick with, like the Cavs. If they sign Spida to a max contract, they're gonna have to send Garland somewhere because he has star potential, but they definitely need to. They're the same player playing different positions, so they definitely need to trade Garland, send him to Miami or somewhere.
I'll take it.
For all your first round picks for the next 3 years.
Whoa, wait a minute now. I
don't have those, do you?
I don't know if we got them or not, man. I mean, look, it took us a while to get all those picks back from the LeBron days. We sold the mortgage a couple times for LeBron, so it is what it is. We got 2 rings out of it. I just got to keep saying that in my head and go from there. James, we head to you next, man. Which NBA player or players, up to you, that need to change the scenery the most in your opinion?
I'm going to go with the guy that was on the screen in DeMar DeRozan. He's been solid for the Bulls since he's gotten to Chicago. But unfortunately, due to the failures of the front office, ownership, everything in Chicago, they haven't been able to put a winning team around him and Zach LaVine at this point. And now it seems the Bulls are transitioning to a newer, younger roster. And it doesn't look like they'll be competing for a championship anytime soon. And if I'm DeRozan personally, I'm still looking for a chance to win. I'm still looking for a chance to compete. And if I can't do that in Chicago, it's time to move on. Like, it's unfortunate because he was probably one of the most productive players we've had the last few years. But if you're going to turn the page, if you're going to go younger, set him free. I think he'll be an unrestricted free agent after the 30th. He'll have his opportunity to sign anywhere he chooses. Hopefully he gets a chance to compete and go out a champion, or at least spend the last few years competing to win a championship. So shout out to DeMar. It'll be sad to see you go, but go get it done somewhere else, man.
Just come on to Miami. That's all I'm asking. Nothing serious, y'all.
Everybody can't go to Miami, bro.
Hey, look, we're not gonna get anybody. That's why I gotta keep hoping that I can just throw something out there, because we're more likely gonna lose Jimmy, but that's okay. Larry, I head to you. I head to you next, man. Who needs it?
They're doing the cocaine down there in Miami.
Yeah. Larry, who's your player that needs a change of scenery?
I feel like Kevin Durant's name has been out there in the TV airwaves and everywhere for the past 24, 48 hours. I don't know if that's going to happen, but Darrell, you know, we talked about this.
Don't you do it.
A show ago. Jimmy Butler kind of caught with his foot in his mouth earlier in the postseason, when he was talking about how, if he was playing, in whoever home, basically, or but Pat Riley kind of got on him about that. So my thing is, what if Jimmy Butler get traded? You already said nobody's coming to Miami.
Nobody. Not a soul.
So what I wanted Jimmy Butler to come to New York, but obviously that's not happening. He matches the team's tenacity and attitude. He's coached them before, but hey, you know what? That fantasy's over. But I think Jimmy Butler could be on the move this offseason.
Dallas.
Oh God. All that hurts outside.
Dallas doesn't need a dog. A guy that can step in, shoot the three, and play defense.
Right. This one was kind of tough for me because I was trying to figure out who I wanted to go with, but my pick is actually Trae Young. I think Trae Young has done really good things in Atlanta, but ever since they made that playoff run to the Eastern Conference Finals, where everybody after that thought, look, Atlanta's about to be hot for the next couple of years, hasn't happened. And I think even though they went and we've heard rumblings of Trae Young trades for like the last 2 or 3 years, or probably since that time frame. We've heard it a lot, and it just hasn't happened. But I think he's one person I think would really benefit from a good change of scenery. But it can't just be anywhere, and I feel like he has to just fit what a team needs. Now I'm gonna throw one at you, and then I'll jump the other way. If he goes to the Western Conference, I say this because I think they could really do good things together, and I'm going to say Golden State. And Klay Thompson is leaving, and you got to keep the Splash Brothers rolling. Why not get the Splash Brothers' little brother, bring him on in? He light skinned, it works. I'm just saying. I mean, if he can make it happen, that's what you do, right, James? Before, what you got to say, brother?
Oh, just no defense. No defense will be played in Golden State. You're going to have to win shootouts every night, 140 to 145.
Hey.
Because Steph ain't guarding nobody. And if you add Trae Young, ain't nobody getting guarded.
Well, look, they just going to have to
the opposing backcourt is going to be cooking.
It's going to be crazy work. And so, and if he goes to the East, obviously, I'm not going to say Miami, but y'all know that's where it's in my soul.
We'd see our 200 basketball game.
I'm not going to do that. But I think if he goes to a place like, and this may be even a stretch, but no, because I was going to say Philly, but Philly could definitely use an extra spring. I mean, I like what Maxi's done. I like what Embiid done. But if they're going to make a run, they're going to have to. Their time is dwindling. Because Embiid was my other choice. Like I feel like even though I know he's been there for a minute, he might be another person that should be, maybe it's time.
Part of the process is still there.
Hey, that's true. The process has been, cycling and broken. Semi, it's been in the playoffs, but it just kind of just staled there. So those are my two choices. I'm gonna just say Philly, but I think Philly would be a good spot for him. Heck, he would be a god if he went to New York. But I don't know how much they still have a lot of hate for Trey Young in New York. So I don't know if that's gonna be the move neither. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, our next one on our fire starters, we head to the NFL. So we're going to head to the NFL for our final two topics. And, we're going to start over the next couple of weeks here. We're going to be talking about different positions. We're going to be talking about divisions, kind of giving our thoughts on those as we go along. And so now I want to hear from the guys, who is the top running back? If you can give me a couple if you want, but give me your top running back in the league going into the 2024 NFL season. Jay, I'll start with you. Who's the top running back in the NFL in your opinion as of right now?
CMC easily, until they put him on the Madden cover, and then you're like, oh God. But
no, stay away from the cover, my guy. You were actually healthy last season. Don't do it.
Right? I mean, but yeah, CMC's still the best, the creme de la creme, number one. And Barkley, now that he's in Philly, sorry, Russ, is going to push him to be number one. So
I like it. Larry, head to you, man. Who's the best running back heading into the 2024 NFL season?
The same two damn running backs that Jay just
upset are we?
Got some big expectations ahead of him in the Madden cover athlete. Now, over the past few years, the Madden cover athlete has not been the Madden cover athlete of the past. Christian McCaffrey over 1,400 yards last year. It was a career high for him, 14 touchdowns. He had a big contract extension over the offseason. He's unanimously the top running back heading into the season.
I like it. So far we're 2 for 2 on the CMC train. Does James Brown change the atmosphere? James, who's the top running back headed into the 2024 NFL season?
Please say beyond.
I would only change the atmosphere if I was smoking dope or crack. I'd have to be going off something to admit that Christian McCaffrey is not the best running back in the NFL right now. I mean, we've seen it since he's gotten out to San Francisco. Not only has he been healthier, he's been playing off the charts. Like, it's been crazy the amount of production that Kyle Shanahan's been able to get out of him. And we know he can do it all as a running back, whether it's running between the tackles, bouncing it outside, catching it out of the backfield, and pass protecting as well. Like, he's the gold standard for running backs nowadays. As you can see, he got the contract extension this past offseason too, and he didn't have to fight for his money. We've seen all these running backs talk about, man, it's been such a struggle for me to get paid. They don't want to pay running backs anymore. Christian McCaffrey doesn't have those problems. He got paid the first time around, led the league as far as average annual for running backs. He got paid again, no issues, no problems, and once again is leading the league and that average annual salary for running backs. So McCaffrey's my guy. Hands and prayers go out to make sure he stays healthy this upcoming season, despite the Madden cover. Oh, my guy even got married this summer. So, he's winning all around. He's just out here winning. McCaffrey's top dog. I'd say for number 2, though, I'm going to go with Derrick Henry, man. I know it's not the sexy pick, but he's consistent, he's steady, and it's like, you hand it off to him, that's at least 3-4 yards every time. So,
how much tread still?
It's not sexy, but it's productive. Well, that's the thing. He's been able to do it for way longer than we've anticipated. Why should we expect any change now that he's going to be in Baltimore? I still expect to see the same Derrick Henry at this point. I know he's on the backside of 30 now, but I mean, he's going to have Lamar Jackson. That'll help take some of those treads off or help, keep the remaining tread fresh. I'm pretty sure Baltimore is going to be able to expand on that passing game this year, having Mark Andrews, having Zay Flowers, Bateman still.
Giant human being right there.
Well, I don't smoke crack, so I'm not going to go against CMC here. I just want to throw that out there. I'm not on the drug side. I agree with you guys 100% on CMC being the man, myth, and the legend on that. I will say that I really do think Henry has a chance, even at 30 years old, and we know how it is with running backs when they hit that age. He's got a chance this year with a great offensive line or a solid offensive line in Baltimore, and a guy that, an offense that is usually strictly around the run for the most part. I mean, it's even, in years past, even last year, yes, Lamar threw the ball a lot more. He was a little bit more production on that bad boy. But for me, man, I mean, it's just, he is gonna. I think he's gonna have a really good year in Baltimore. We do have one quick comment before I ask y'all this next question. Mr. B Self, if I'm saying that wrong, I'm sorry. He's got Lamar Jackson RB1. Now, look, I know that sounds like a crazy argument in some people's eyes, but hey, I mean, he does run the ball. He's not wrong. He's not wrong on that one. He says CMC is soft though. So,
this guy's smoking dope. This guy is smoking dope. Christian McCaffrey, soft. Okay,
that man is not soft at all.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I have no ill will against CMC. So that was very interesting on that one. But I want to go before we move on to the main flame. Do you guys have an underrated running back that you are excited to see this year, or do you think will take that next step, or that's going to have a breakout year? Do you guys have one of those in your back pocket?
Yeah. I'm gonna say Bijan Robinson out in Atlanta. We have a new offense coordinator and Zach Robinson.
Jay stupid.
I know Jay doesn't want to hear it because he's gonna have to deal with these problems this year as a Tampa Bay Bucks fan. But I'd like to see what Bijan can do in this new system coming from LA.
Hold on to those words and listen to our next segment, okay?
Bro, I already know where you're gonna go with it, but you know what? God damn it, we ready for y'all this year. We got something for y'all this year. You best believe that.
Don't even worry about it. We ready for it.
Best believe that.
Larry,
come on up north. Come on up north. We got something for you.
Do you have anybody, Larry, that that we need to be watching out for this year that you're excited about?
I feel like with Josh Jacobs and the change of scenery to
let's get it, baby. Let's go.
I feel like that's a very underrated pick right there. Also, I'm blanking on his name right now, but the running back from the Jets.
Brees
Hall, yeah.
He may have a great season as with Aaron Rodgers there, with some new weapons there as well. I feel like both of them could have good seasons.
Jay, do you have one?
James
Rodgers
Cook
plays more than 4 plays.
James took yours? Okay.
No, I said James Cook.
No, you said James.
James Cook. Okay.
Buffalo.
Okay. I thought you said James is cooking. I said, okay, that's a nice compliment.
I mean,
for James.
I looked at Bijan, but I have zero faith. I'll tell my story.
The rest of it when you get in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. So mine's is like not even. I mean, he's not an underrated person, but I expect a big year from him. Big year, and that's Joe Mixon. Down in Houston, I think that he has a chance to really have a good. If he stays healthy, I think the way that offense is gonna, get rolling this year with I'm not gonna say his last name. Is it Slowick? Am I saying that wrong?
No, you got it right.
Slowick. So I really do think that he could have a really good year, and it's going to give them. And like the running backs there last year had good years, without a Joe Mixon caliber. Just imagine what he could do there if they can stay on that same pace in a division that is really suspect. But with that being said, we about to talk about the South divisions in the NFL. Let's head to the main flame. Oh, wait a minute. I about to do the wrong one. There we go. Put out the fire was about to come way earlier than it was supposed to. But with that being said, our main flame for today, the NFL preview. We're going to do the divisions over the next couple of weeks. Right now, we're doing the AFC and NFC South. So as you can tell, there's a couple people on this panel today that are, that it's close to their heart. So we're gonna find out where they see these divisions kind of landing. But before we get to them, I'm gonna let Larry go first. And we'll start with we'll start with the AFC South first. Larry, I'll let you go first on both goes. But give me your we'll just do it all together. Larry, give me your AFC South division, how you see it planning out, and your NFC South. How do you see the bad boys kind of going?
But I feel like the AFC South will be one of those divisions that people will look at like it's suspect, but I think it could be very entertaining. With CJ Stroud coming off the year that he had last year and the weapons that they had coming over on the offseason. And then you have Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence is big expectation, big contract that he got over the last couple weeks. Will Levis going into year 2 with Calvin Ridley coming over and also Tyler Boyd. So, and is the Colts with Anthony Richardson. Stay healthy because if he can't, it's going to be a problem. I think those are 4 underrated teams right there that could surprise a lot of people. Well, not surprise a lot of people, but it could be very interesting. As far as the NFC South, who knows what you're going to get out of the Saints, the Falcons. Who knows how that situation is going to go with Kirk Cousins. But I do feel like Kirk is going to have a good year, especially with Drake London and Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson. Tampa Bay, can they repeat as division champs? And Carolina, what's the growth going to look like for Bryce Young? So that's how my outlook on both divisions look.
Who do you have winning both divisions?
So I have Texans for the AFC, and I have the Buccaneers.
There it is. Larry has just locked in the Texans and the Buccaneers as they are looking to head back to the playoffs on both ends. All right, so fellas, I'm gonna let y'all do paper, rock, scissors and let y'all know who wants to go first in this one. We can do paper, rock, scissors, see who goes. I guess the choice of going first or going last. Y'all ready? Here we go. All right, paper, rock, scissors, shoot. I don't know, that went kind of slow. Yeah. The Wi-Fi.
I just let Jay take it. Just take it, Jay. Just take it.
Okay.
Your choice, Jay. You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. AFC South. I agree 1,000% with what Larry said. I think the AFC South is going to be as competitive as what the AFC North was last year. We're going to see at least 2 teams come out of this to go to the playoffs. I love Houston. Jacksonville definitely got to step up and, highest paid quarterback tied with Joe Burrow now. He's got to perform. He's got to put the W's up there. I still am not sold 100% on Anthony Richardson playing a whole season. I mean, you got Jonathan Taylor back there. Let him run. Don't run. Throw the ball. Tennessee, Will Levis. I'm still not sold on him. Sorry, I know they got all the weapons and stuff down there that Darrell could throw to.
I got a shot.
So, but I'm picking. I'm going to go with Houston. I think D'Amico Ryans holds that defense together, makes them probably one of the better defenses you could see, especially with that secondary that he's mixing down there. And Stephon Diggs is now a wide receiver down there. Imagine what he can take CJ's game to, helping him learn route progressions and reading coverages. Heavy what? NFC South, I have the Falcons getting a fully healthy and functional Kirk Cousins with his bank vault attached to his back. They have so many weapons on that offense that if he can't succeed, he's going to be considered the best banker ever to play football.
Touche. Touche.
The Saints, I don't know. You think with what they have, they would be good, but you don't know who Derek Carr, what personality he's going to show up and play football with. Everywhere he's went, he's kind of not made coaches happy or teammates, heavy what. So, CTE's real. I love my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I have them going 7-10. Just because a new OC. Yes, Baker did great. Whoop-dee. Number 1 overall pick should do good one damn season. So I'm not sold on him. I don't like what they did with certain pieces. we got contracts we got to work out. I just I don't see Tampa doing what they should be able to do, especially when they cut Shaq. I know he was down in production, but he lost a kid. He had a lot of going on that year. They should have never cut him. I know they needed the money, but right now their best pass rusher is me on a defense that strictly works on getting pressure on the quarterback to get those turnovers.
Randy Gregory. Too.
Oh, and yeah, look, we got Dallas dysfunction. Come on, we'll sign you. You don't even got to show up.
Dallas dysfunction is crazy.
I mean, it's almost exactly, except for it wasn't a fax machine. He just chose not to come get paid.
That's great. That's great.
And Larry said something about seeing Bryce grow. Bryce ain't getting no taller than my ass is.
That's great. That's great. So I'm assuming that you got the Falcons and the Texans winning the divisions.
I got both of them going. I went through, kind of guessed 10-7, both of them.
Okay. All right. James, we head to you, man. Your previews on the both South divisions in the NFL.
Sure. So of course, starting off the AFC South, the crown of that division last year was the Houston Texans. We saw C.J. Stroud have a phenomenal rookie year, and they went out and they built upon that this offseason, adding a Stephon Diggs, adding a Daniil Hunter on the defensive side. Houston seemed to have a stellar offseason, but I feel like this upcoming season, teams are going to be prepared for them more in a sense. They're going to start getting everyone's best shot. Well, I think they have a first place schedule now. I know they got the Chiefs on Christmas, I believe. They're going to have some tough games to overcome this year. And I feel like we're going to see that because last year they only won the division by a game. They won it at 10-7, and Jacksonville and Indy were both 9-8. And I believe, honestly, in the last week, it came down to that last win they had over Indianapolis to win the division and make the playoffs. So I think it's going to be a little bit tighter this year for Houston. Hopefully the additions can keep them on top, but it's going to be tough this year. Then Jacksonville, they paid Trevor Lawrence. He's the top guy now, money-wise. Can he build on that second season they had when they made it to the playoffs? They pulled off a miracle, came all the way back, beat the Chargers. They're looking to have that season happen again. They're looking for Trevor Lawrence to play like that again to justify the money they gave him. I think they're going to be in the mix. And then if you remember a couple weeks back, the Colts were my dark horse pick. And again, they finished the year 9-8 despite losing Anthony Richardson, despite it being the head coach's first year was Shane Steichen. Despite it being his first year, they went 9-8. They competed for a division and playoff spot all the way. You give them year two, Richardson's in year two. Hopefully he stays healthy. I think the Colts make noise, man. And then the Titans, I don't really have much faith in the Titans at this point. You got rid of your guy in Derrick Henry. We'll see what Will Levis does. They have a rookie head coach. I don't know if Callahan can really draw it up like that. So we'll see. But for me personally, I got the Colts coming in first in the South. I have Houston coming in second, the Jags take third, and then I have the Titans in fourth. Flipping it to the NFC South, like Jay said, Mighty Mouse in Carolina isn't getting any taller. Not only that, he only gets like a second in pass protection anyway. The Falcons got pressure on him last year, and we don't even have anybody playing defensive end to rush the passer, and they even got pressure on him. So it's ridiculous what Carolina is putting Mighty Mouse through at this point, but I don't see it getting any better this season. Hopefully he stays healthy, but he's going to be taking them lumps once again. The Saints, I don't think anybody trusts the Saints. I don't think anybody believes Dennis Allen can honestly coach. They did get rid of Jameis, so maybe that is an upgrade. Who knows? But I think the Saints will definitely be in third in the division. In second, I have the Bucs in second in the NFC South because they still kept Baker. They still have Mike Evans. The continuity is still there on their offense. Hopefully Godwin stays healthy for them and they find a little bit more of that running game that they had later in the year. But I feel like roster-wise, they're the best roster in the South. It's just that the major driver for them last year was the offense behind Danny Canales, who's now gone. He's now the head coach in Carolina. And we've seen, when Todd Bowles doesn't have the offensive side clicking, this team kind of falls apart. They're just not able to score enough points to hold off what the defense is able to do against the opposing side. So I'd have Tampa in second. And then, of course, I got the Falcons in first. I mean, we've seen this team compete in this division the last 3 seasons with incompetent quarterbacking and incompetent coaching at times. And, finally, I think they have a quarterback that they can at least get competent play out of. We'll see if Raheem Morris can get it to click in his second time around as a head coach. He brought over Zach Robinson. They've made all the good plays as far as filling out the roster. So I'm going to have faith in the Falcons again this year. I think they'll win this out. And that's how I got it lining up for us.
All right, there it is. There it is. All right, so I'll go ahead and go with mines here in the AFC South. So division-wise, it's been 3 teams kind of rotating since 2014. Titans had their little bit Titans had a little bit of a run at some point. The Texans have had their run. They've won, I think, like at least 4 division championships in between that time. Jacksonville's won a couple. Indianapolis hasn't won the division since 2014. So for me, Houston, even despite everything that they had going on, they have found ways to kind of rebuild themselves. I got Houston right now winning that division, and it's hard to go against that. However, in this division, every time you think there's a team that, that I remember a couple years ago, I said, the Colts are going to win this division, and they just fell apart. Now, I don't see that happening with the Texans, but you have to watch out for it. I thought easily last year that the Jacksonville Jaguars would win this division. I'm like, they're going to win this division, and they looked that way at the beginning, and then they fell apart. In the last couple of years, we've seen people have the lead in this division and then fall apart. Tennessee had the lead the year before then, and then they fell apart. So it's like, who's going to be the team that takes the early lead and then fall apart? But for me, I'm going to have, and then this may be unpopular, but I think I don't want Jacksonville to fall as far, but I think Jacksonville. No. I'm going to say Colts finished last. Jacksonville finished third. And I think Tennessee might make some noise. I don't think they make the playoffs, but I think they make some noise. I think they're going to be a better team. It's something about young head coaches in this league that have done a really good job when they kind of push away from the old style of football that we're used to, or the early 2000s football into now the teens or in the early 20s or mid 20s, I guess you want to say. I just think those younger head coaches have done really well for the most part. If you go and look, they've all found their niche at some point. So I think, even if it's not this year, I think there may be a chance to. And then I got Houston finishing first to win the division. Now going to the NFC South. On the South end, the Falcons haven't won the division since 2016. The Carolina Panthers haven't won it since 2015. The Saints won it 3 years in a row. From 17, 18, and 19, and then we saw Tampa Bay win the last 3 years. My initial pick was to have Tampa Bay win this division, but to me, there's something about this Falcons team that if they can get healthy Kirk Cousins and they finally get good quarterback play, there's no reason why they can't win this division. That's just my.
I even think if they bring Penix in, they'll still be contenders, because watching him in OTAs, them wide receivers were surprised that a football could be thrown so hard and precisely.
They was like, wait a minute, is this how this is supposed to be?
It's funny because it's true.
It's in my hand.
And it's like, my quarterback can throw it to me.
Throw the ball to me.
So, I mean, yeah.
And I think big year for this has got to be Kyle Pitts' year, right? Like, we know that Kurt loves to throw the tight end. This has got to be his year. This is a guy who I think that a lot of people still think has the talent to be great in this league, and it just feels like he hasn't had the quarterback. Hasn't had the quarterback play to make it happen. This is his time. Even with London, I mean, you see the talent that they have with these guys, and it just felt like it hasn't been used properly. I think that Morris is going to get this thing together. The last time that they were playing pretty solid, when Morris was there, he had a nice little stretch before he went out to the Rams, and I think he should have been the coach the first time. That's just me, but I think this will give him an opportunity now that he's back. They got the guy that they wanted, and so I got the Falcons there. I got the Bucs finishing second. I got Carolina finishing third, and that's because I have no faith in the Saints. Dennis Allen is a miserable head coach. The fact that he got a second opportunity is mind-blowing to me. When he was out there with the Raiders, he was terrible. And granted, he was younger, and in that time in the league, it wasn't that style, and maybe he just needed something to figure out. No, he's terrible. They're not a good team. He doesn't have the good offensive mind. It just is not working. And I think this is how he gets fired. And I don't want to see nobody lose a job, but I think this is how he gets fired. So I got the Saints finishing last in this division. And I think Carolina's going to have I think Bryce will have a better year because of Canales. I think he's going to have a better year. I'm not going to say he wins like
Canales going to be blocking for him.
I mean,
Can Canales play left tackle?
I heard he can play a good right guard. I just got to give him time to get out there and make it happen. But I got Carolina finishing in third. So that's the way I'll have it finishing up. That's why I have it finishing up. All right, so that's it for our South divisions in the NFL predictions. Now it is time, ladies and gentlemen, to finish this bad boy up, and it is time for us to put out the fire.
Fire, fire, burn on. Fire, 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 burn on. Fire, 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 legacy on fire.
All right. Time to put out the fire here on Legacy on Fire. I always like to see who wants to go first. Jay's got his hand up.
I was itching my head.
Jay's got his hand up.
Jay will go first. Jay don't care.
So Jay said he will go first. Jay, go ahead and put out the fire, sir.
So I keep hearing about, this foul that Angel Reese did to Caitlin Clark's head. Back in the 80s, if they played in the NBA, that would have been, just warm-ups. Let it go. That's football or basketball. You're playing for the love of the game. She's playing. She leaves her passion out there. It's the same thing when they played the national championship game. What was it, 2 years ago? And people were saying they were being disrespectful by throwing signs at each other. That's competition. They love what they do. Let them do it. Shut up and enjoy the sport.
Just enjoy the sport. I like it. Larry, James, who wants to go next?
I can go if Larry wants to go.
Larry might
want to go, Larry?
Rooney.
Before I discovered that the Aces in the Sky game was on Prime Video, I looked to see earlier on what channel, like who was broadcasting this game. And I saw MARQ, and I saw the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. How the hell am I supposed to the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network?
YouTube.
How am I supposed to see the a future heavyweight and a heavyweight in this game? On ESPN should be broadcasting this right now. And ESPN should be focusing on more women's basketball anyway this time of the year, now that the game is hot. Take advantage of it. Why are we getting secondary, TV stations to televise your product if you're trying to make it better? That's all I gotta say.
I like it. James, we head to you, man.
What
would you want to say?
What Larry's saying is ESPN should be like what MTV used to be, play music videos and play, stuff of content, not these dumbass shows. Let's show us sports.
We're in there. James, we head to you, brother. Go ahead and put out the fire.
Before I do, I'd say to Larry, hey, bro, your best bet might be to see if you can stream that joint off TikTok or something at this point. Because the WNBA wilding, but I ain't gonna lie, you be finding stuff on TikTok, bro. So you might find somebody on there streaming that joint live. Just search it up. You never know, it might come through, because I don't even know who the hell you said had the game, but it sounds like at this point we might could sponsor a WNBA game. So Darrell,
let's get it.
See.
Let's get it.
Make
TikTok,
that happen.
does that mean you get the Hawk 2 girl at halftime?
Lord,
no comment.
Legacy Maker on fire after dark, ladies and gentlemen, for that one. Tune in. I think we'll be going live at 11 tonight. You can find our thoughts on Hawk Tour then. But going back to putting out the fire, I'm gonna stick in the world of basketball, and I'm gonna stay with Chicago Bulls. We've seen now the Bulls are seeming to transition this roster and go the younger approach, kind of tearing it down, and in a sense tank to build up the roster for the future. But I feel like it's too little too late. They've missed opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. We saw that they traded Alex Caruso. They were able to get Josh Giddey and no additional picks. I saw I think last night the Thunder traded 5 second-round picks to
They got
take
90.
a kid in the 20s. And it's like, bro, they gave up 5 for one. We couldn't get one of those. We couldn't get one of the 5 that they just gave up last night. What we smoking? What's going on out here? Zach LaVine, he's still on the team at this point. He played 25 games last year due to injury. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? No one knows. The Bulls don't know at this point. What the hell are we doing with Zach LaVine? We've squandered the 3-4 years that DeMar DeRozan has had in Chicago. At this point, he's probably going to walk for nothing. And again, that's another asset that we had that we could have traded to get draft picks and capital to make the team better. But no, the Bulls have failed to do that. And somehow, some way, we're still paying Lonzo Ball and hoping that he's going to come back. Personally, for the story, I hope Lonzo does come back. I can't lie. I still like the Ball family. I like the story. None of these kids can fucking stay healthy, though. Lonzo's hurt. LaMelo's hurt. LeVar was talking about the big baller body. What's going on? These kids seem brittle, bro. Where are the Ball brothers at? The only one that's been able to stay healthy is LiAngelo, and it's probably because he's not goddamn playing. But what's going on here? The Bulls need to figure it out. The Ball family needs to figure it out. I'm tired of it, and I just want to see some good goddamn basketball.
That's all he wants. That's all he wants.
From the Ball family and the Bulls.
That's it.
It's ridiculous.
Balls and Bulls, baby. That's all he's asking for. That's all he's asking for. James put out the fire, but James,
you might got to reword that, but yes.
James,
yes, what he said.
There's only one way to put out the fire, and that's the Hawk 2 on that monkey. So there you go. James put out the fire. Before we go, the only thing I want to say is I'm going to piggyback off of everybody. I'm going to piggyback off of everybody here because I feel the same way about the Heat. The Heat have missed out on big opportunities. They've been to 2 NBA championship, 2 NBA finals in the last 4 years. And here's the thing. I've always had faith in Pat Riley and Spoelstra and what they can do there. But if you're not careful, you're going to let the Celtics really lock that thing up for the next couple of years. In the Eastern Conference, you're going to let these other teams get better in the Eastern Conference. And it seems like they do a little something, but they never do enough to make that leap. And I probably said, well, you can't complain. You've been to 2 finals, but you lost both of them. And if you win one, maybe I'll be feeling a little bit different. You've got an opportunity here. If Jimmy's leaving, then you've got to find a way to get better. Go get Spider. Sorry, Jay. Go get him. Whatever it takes.
Is Pat Riley like 100 now? He's out playing like Baccarat or something.
157 years old, Pat Riley is. But I still have faith in Pat. And I'm hoping that they can kind of figure this thing out in the offseason and make this team ready for another run next year. So
I'll be so mad if you guys get Spider.
I won't. I'll be happy, but it still won't push the needle. I mean, if Jimmy's not staying, it's not going to push the needle because they just signed Bam to like a 3-year, $166 million extension, which, yeah, I guess we'll see.
You say that, but they better not trade Bam. They better not trade Bam. No, Bam better stay.
Well, my man Justin Brown says, give the man what he wants. Give him what he wants. Hook him up. Give him what he wants. That's what he wants. Give him what he needs.
We just want good basketball in Chicago. It's not too hard to ask for.
It's not a bad thing.
I just want the Ball brothers to play a full season.
Chicago
it shouldn't be too much to ask for.
Chicago being relevant is a big thing.
You should make a petition if they can't.
Lights out.
That's life as a Bull fan. That right there. that was my life when the Falcons blew 28-3. That was my life right there.
There went Kirk Cousins' other knee.
Well, oh no, not now. It's too early. All right, everybody. That is it for.
That was life before we heard.
Yeah. That's it for episode 72 of Legacy on Fire here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network, and of course, airing on the amazing Bowie Television. We'd like to thank everybody for being a part of this. And just leave it there. Just leave it there. It ain't meant to be, Jay. Just leave it there. So with that being said, we'd like to thank everybody for tuning in for another episode. Unfortunately, we won't be back next week only because of 4th of July. And next week's a little bit of a crazy week. Well, we will be back the following week to bring you our next previews in the NFL. So be prepared for July 11th as we bring you another episode of Legacy on Fire. But before we go, James, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No, thank you. It's been fun. Y'all be safe. Keep all your fingers.
Yeah, they say don't drop the soap. Don't drop the lamp, Jay. Don't drop the lamp.
I didn't drop it. The damn thing jumped.
It jumped off the platform. It's like I'm over, man. It's over. Larry, anything you want to say before we
Hearing
go,
about
bro?
the Ball brothers? It's like ball this.
Hey Jay, I feel like that was a shot at JPP.
Yeah, JPP. Definitely a shot.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? He got better at pass rushing after he lost his fingers.
He did. Nah, nothing. Follow me, Gametime Sports Network. Free.
James, anything you want to say before we go?
Hey, appreciate it, fellas, for another week. Always glad to be here. Shout out to everybody out there watching. As always, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out all the great stuff we got here at the Legacy Maker Sports Network. And yeah, man, goddamn.
Yeah.
James, and I've been working on an article for defensive backs. I got one of your guys in there because Raheem Morris sucks as a head coach, but he's got a good eye on corners.
Oh, wait a minute.
Hey, we could always use another good corner. So, I'll take that.
Compliment shot. We're gonna toss it. We're gonna give you some love, but I'm gonna get a hip in the inside.
I'm only choosing to acknowledge the compliment.
Hey, before he went to prison,
understandable.
Tenard Jackson was a Pro Bowler. Remember?
Oh, I thought he was about to say something else, but we good.
No, Tenard Jackson was. We drafted him
I got to
because
defend my guy real quick.
Morris wanted it.
All right, everybody, that's it. Episode 72 is in the books. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back in a week or so, in 2 weeks, July 11th, for episode 73, and we'll bring you our next preview. We'll be doing the East teams. We'll do the East teams on the next one. Thank y'all all for tuning in. For Jay Quimby, as you can say, it's nighttime. You done cut the lights out. Larry Patterson and James Brown, Darrell Owens. Make sure y'all check out all the great stuff we got going on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Go to www.legacymakersports.com and check us out. Until next time.